Good morning. So, if you are taking a look at this video, you are looking for some help with lesson 09, which is and, or, and not. So, what we're going to be looking at to start off with is the behavior of each of these comparison words. And to start off with, I want to be clear about a couple things. So, let's take a look at our terminal side. And let's take a look at a couple things first. So we know that if we have true and false, that they are exactly what we expect them to be. True is true and false is false. Now we are introducing some comparison words. So for instance, if I say true and true, then my expected outcome is true. If I say true and false, then my expected outcome is false. And if I say false and false, then my expected outcome is also false. This is kind of the same as saying, well, okay, I've woken up this morning for breakfast and I've decided that I want pancakes. It's kind of the same as saying, I will eat the pancakes if there is syrup and butter available. I'm saying that I want both of those things available if I'm going to eat the pancakes. If one or the other is not available, then I'm not going to eat the pancakes. So, if both are not available, then I wouldn't eat the pancakes. If only one is available, I don't want to eat the pancakes. Only if syrup and butter are available, then I want to eat the pancakes. Versus, I can also use one of my other keywords, or, and do the same thing. I could say, I will eat pancakes if there is syrup or butter available. So, the way that that works is I can say true or true. That would be true. I can say true or false, and that would still be true. But again, if we have false or false, then that would end up being false. And the way that we can kind of take a look at how the behavior is going to work is we can have what is known as a truth table. And the way the truth table works is essentially we have this little essentially kind of like a table going on here where we check for different kinds of behavior, or we know that we are expecting different kinds of behaviors. So I'm going to have my and truth table here, which we'll go ahead and split this up a little bit. My and truth table, what I'm expecting to happen is if I have A is true and B is true, then my expected result is true. If A is false and B is true, then since this is the and keyword, I'm expecting a false output. Again, the same exact thing happens if A is true but B is false, then we are expecting a false output, and if both end up being false, then my expected output is false. Remember, this T is just representing true, and the F is representing false. So that's my and truth table. Now, of course, I have more than just and, I also have or. So let's go ahead and copy all of this down. Oh, hold on. There we go. The only difference now is if it's false or if A is false and B is true, then my behavior changes to true. The same thing happens if A is true and B is false. Now, the only other one that we haven't gone over is the not keyword, and the not keyword is probably the easiest out of all of them. So if I say that something is not true, then it's false. If I say something is not false, then it's true. So let's go ahead and put that down real quick. So we have our not keyword to end off with. We'll go ahead and copy all of this again, but this table is going to look a lot more simple. Oh, here we go. And the way that this table is going to look is we're actually going to get rid of our B column because we only really care about one thing now. And so if A is true, then after going through not, it becomes false. If A is false, then it becomes true. So that one is not too bad to think about. In terms of using this in our coding assignments, what we're going to end up doing is first off, you'll have a quiz that you'll be need to take. So in that quiz, I will have a lot of questions where it says something like true and true or false and true. We have things like this, and what I'm asking you to do is to evaluate or figure out what this entire thing will end up being. Now, we can figure this out pretty easily. We can say that true and true, we know that this will be true. So this first part here is true. We have our or keyword in the middle, and don't forget if even one thing is true, right? If something or the other is true, then we should end up having true. But let's go ahead and evaluate the other side real quick. If I have false and true, that would end up being false because again, I can look over at my truth table here and I can see, oh, well, I have false and true, that would end up being false. But ultimately, it boils down to true or false. When I hit enter, we get our expected outcome, which is true. The other thing that I might try and trip you up with is not true and false and true. Actually, we'll go with true. So if something, right, we're kind of seeing true and true here, but remember this is in parentheses, so this gets ran first. So not true becomes false, and if it's false and true, again, our expected outcome is false. So I have many different questions like that. They get pretty complicated, but do the things in parentheses first. And if you see two sets of parentheses like this, then always do the thing that you see in the innermost parentheses. That's what's going to help you the most. All right, I hope this helps you figure out a little bit about how and, or, and not are working. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me, and I hope you are all having a wonderful day.